Jayson, when we've talked to you recently, you had said you weren't sure if you were going to come back this year or not. How did you kind of get to the point physically, in the headspace, mentally, to make this decision? And how did it feel kind of when you had that moment, that when you realized you were going to come back and play for the Celtics this season?
I mean, it's a long process. It's a lot that goes into it, physically, emotionally, and mentally. It's the physical aspect, passing all your strength tests and things like that. It's a ramp-up period of conditioning and doing contact stuff and, heavy days, and then seeing how you feel the next day and respond, and, weeks of that. So it's just like it's a long journey, and it's not just an easy decision to make. It's a very serious thing that happened and that I had to overcome, and this was a huge step, but I still got a long way to go. But this was a really big step for me.
Jayson, can you just walk us through how you felt out there? It seemed like you had some moments early on where maybe your legs weren't there, and then you started to get going. Can you just walk us through like the whole process of how your game kind of came along?
I just felt really anxious. It's been a long time coming just to get to this point. Many nights and days I dreamed about this moment, and the anticipation, the crowd. It's been 42 and a half weeks since I played an NBA game. So, just trying to get caught up on the speed and everything. I just kind of felt like I was a step off or moving too fast. But, the game started to slow down as I just kind of relaxed a little bit.
Jayson, I'm guessing you heard from a lot of people over the last 24 hours or so going into this game. I'm wondering if anybody said anything to you or texted you or anything that resonated with you going into this game.
I would just say a lot of people were, praying for me and, thoughtful text messages and reaching out, when they found out that I was going to return at some point this season and that it may be pretty soon. So it's a lot of people I'm thankful for, obviously, through these last 10 months that have just kind of been there and checked on me throughout this journey.
Jayson, just how surreal was it to walk on the floor? You've probably been thinking about this for months. Like, it's going to happen. You're there. You've got somebody trying to score on you. You've got someone trying to stop you. Like, what did that feel like inside when you first walked out there?
I think it was a balance. It was really split down the middle. It was like a surreal feeling. But then it just kind of felt like I was, it felt normal. So that was really promising for me. Not even just when the game started, just driving to the game, starting my routine, doing my pregame shooting. I knew it was a big moment, but everything just started to feel like really normal again.
It seemed like a couple of times you kind of smiled like, man, I can't believe I just did that. You missed your first 6 shots, then you had the put-back dunk. Did that moment change anything for you? Did that make you feel more normal, give you more confidence? Like what went through that moment and then making your next 5?
It helped me relax a lot. As a basketball player, when you take a lot of extended period of time off, you're anxious, you want it really bad. And obviously, I wanted to hit every shot I took, but I really was just kind of like grateful. I had a real sense of gratitude of just being back on the floor and playing basketball again. It just kind of brought me back to everything I've been through in the last 10 months, and the fact that I was able to even be out there today, was like a really big win for me.
Jayson, what's the outlook like for you going forward? Are you going to be able to play every night the rest of the way? how's the minutes ramp up going to work here? Like, do you have a solidified plan for all that at this point?
Yeah, we got a plan. And, you know, it's just kind of, we have a plan, but obviously plans can change, and, you know, just kind of day by day.
Jayson, back here. When you went down back in May, there was so much uncertainty about the future of this franchise, so much changed even while you were out. What did you think at that moment, or I guess back then, where the direction of the franchise could go, where the direction of your career would go, and then looking back at that full circle, how do you feel now, seeing that you guys are back towards the top of the East and you're back on the floor?
Yeah, I mean, it was a range of emotions, a range of thoughts in that moment. You know, I wasn't sure if what the future was going to hold. You know, because the start of last playoffs, you know, we felt like we had a 3, 4, 5-year run with that team of try to win as many championships as we could, and it all changed in the moment with that team, right? You know, we had to trade guys and things like that. So there was just a lot of uncertainty for me. I didn't know what was next, and you know, there was a lot of doubt that crept in my mind at that time. Obviously, the team looks totally different than it did last year, but you know, can't commend the group enough and the coaching staff of how they've attacked this season, how they've competed and just played together every single night. You know, I don't know if it's a team that's been more fun to watch this season, just, you know, play as a unit.
Jayson, Joe talked pregame about the vulnerability of this last 10 months for everybody, including yourself. And I just wonder, you have to live your life in the public eye, or most of your life in the public eye. I wonder what it's like to have to also live with that doubt in the public eye and that uncertainty about your body, which is what's given you this living, what's enabled you to become the player you are and get the accolades that you have. And now it's really injured, like for real injured. And how you kind of compartmentalize that doubt with the push to get back on the court.
Yeah, I think, you know, I don't think any athlete thinks that they're ever going to get hurt. At least, you know, I didn't. It never crossed my mind. I felt like I did everything right, took care of my body, and I didn't cheat the game. So when it happened, it was I mean, literally knocked me on my ass. And it just kind of made me rethink a lot of things. And, you know, I had an idea of how my career was going to go, and, you know, one night it changed. And what I've realized is that, you know, we know many great athletes that have went through ups and downs in their career, but it's another thing to, like, live it. And, you know, not to say that the things I want to accomplish are still in front of me, but, you know, how you get there, you know, looks different for everybody. So, you know, it's been tough. Obviously, I can talk about it all day, but I'm really just kind of happy I even got to this point.
Jayson, hello. We came from here. We came from Portugal. It's your return in this night. Can you? Did you notice any transformation in the connection with Nemias Queta? Is there a margin to improve the game inside court?
Yeah, me and Nemi had a little talk during the game. You know, we were just like, man, it's our first day really playing together, and you know, some things we got to work on, but it was just fun. We just shared a moment. You know, he was telling me some things that he was seeing out there, and how we can get our connection better moving forward. And you know, like I said, it was our first day, and you know, it can only get better.
Jayson, Joe had just mentioned, I think yesterday at a team meeting you guys had, that you addressed the team, and just kind of just on a similar wave, you said about kind of gratitude that you've been feeling. Just, I know you don't want to miss everything you said, but just kind of what message could you maybe share with your teammates, or kind of what feelings were you having, coming into this with that?
Yeah, I think it was one just being vulnerable, showing my appreciation to the team of how they have played this season, how they've motivated me every single day. The joy and competitive nature that they've displayed, I wanted to be a part of that. And I say it all the time, going through rehab and being injured is lonely, and it's not intentional, but, just a lot. I couldn't practice for a while. I couldn't be in the game. When they were on the court, I was in the weight room having to do my own thing. So you feel isolated in a sense. But I just expressed that being around as much as possible, going to games, being on the plane, really made me feel like I was still very much a part of the team, and how thankful to the group of just being themselves that I was. Thankful to the coaches that, I extended their days a lot by helping me during rehab and on the court and pick up games and my conditioning. So I really just kind of telling everybody in the room that they all played a part in essentially helping me get to this moment. And I was just very thankful for that.
Last question to Noah. Jayson, we see you a lot with Nick, and I think he's somebody that fans are aware of as kind of your right-hand guy in this recovery. But what was his role behind the scenes, and how much of a role does he have kind of in this recovery with you?
He has the biggest role. For the last 10 months, I haven't went 48 hours without seeing Nick. He was there, obviously, when I got injured, and he's been with me every step of the way. I'm very fortunate to have someone that is as selfless and dedicated as he is. Obviously, he's one of my best friends. That's a bonus. Somebody that I know cares about me as a person and is as invested as me as anyone. I've seen Nick work countless hours to research and call specialists and dot every I and cross every T to, make sure we were doing the right things and make sure we didn't skip any steps. Hold me accountable every single day, push me when, I didn't, necessarily want to be there or when I doubted myself. So can never say thank you enough to him. He's been with me, every single day since I got injured. And, a big reason why I was able to recover as fast as I did and make it to this point, it was on him. So obviously I can't say enough good things about him, and I can't thank him enough for, being there with me.